Hey guys, it's Stefan. Welcome back to episode 8 of our World of Warcraft gearing series. I'm recording this commentary after I did the Mythic Plus since I wasn't really able to commentate at the time, and realistically when I'm doing dungeons, there's like me commentating early on when I'm so rusty isn't very helpful because like most of the things I say are either really spread apart or I'm very slow. Like there are so many things that I'm still like relearning that a lot of the things I'll say when I'm live commentating in a dungeon isn't gonna be perfect because I'm concentrating so much. So I created this is our key. I created this key or this run with the with well basically alone, and then the tank and the Windwalker monk. The tank was helping his friend gear up, it seems. This is a really weird pull. I haven't really seen this one done before, so I was like, okay, let's go. We'll see how it goes, but the tank is just getting absolutely battered. And then honestly, I think I got aggro on the small ones or something. I don't really know what happened, but anyway, that was a pretty, interesting pull. Sorry, my voice is going, which is also one of the reasons I didn't commentate, but yeah. So the tank is really well geared. He queued up to the random group finder and presumably is helping his friend get some gear, which, that a lot of people do that. And this is what I want to encourage is that if you make your own group and you want to, usually if you see a higher geared tank and, okay geared or a little bit low geared DPS, a lot of the time is worth it because just having that smooth run from the tank. And yes, I am playing Fury. This run I kind of forgot to talk about that. But having a good tank is just so good. Like in terms of if you're pugging as a DPS, having a good tank it's insanely good. So I decided to play a little bit of Fury because I wanted to try it out and it looked fun from what I could see. So I respec my traits. It wasn't very expensive and found myself enjoying it just as I thought I would. So that's definitely. I decided to use drums here. I was expecting someone else to do it, but it's fine to do it on the first boss. So relatively okay run. Like we had that one really quick wipe, but that realistically, sorry, that realistically doesn't matter that much early on. And yeah, so that's what I would say. If you guys are struggling to do some Mythic Plus or whatever, because I know a lot of people are, which is kind of a sad thing. But um, gosh, um, go ahead and invite people like that. And then I had kind of a similar situation where the healer is an alt with a fair bit of Mythic Plus experience. I look people up when I'm making the group. That's Raider IO. It gives you an idea if they're stupid or not. That's kind of like generally people that for the most part, obviously people can get boosted and whatnot. But and then he had a the rogue was also an alt, so they were pretty well experienced. And I don't know these players at all. I just made the group and did what I would do generally, whether it's for YouTube or not. Like just invite people that look like they would fit the criteria of your group. It's if you see like yeah, fair enough. I could try to get more get more plate wearers or whatnot, but honestly, it's kind of not really a big deal. And I was like, I wanted to try out Fury, so I decided to just get whatever. Um, so I tell the tank here to just chill a bit because our DPS is high enough. We don't really need to be taking risks like this, and we clearly see the healer isn't, doing that. You know, he's okay, but he's not the best. And we don't have DPSers who are gonna clear out a group in a couple seconds. Like, I'm only 385, the Windwalker Monk is 379, I think. And the Rogue was like 384 or something like that. And, you know, we aren't, you know, at a point where we can just clear out a group. Like, yeah, I can do a fair bit of damage, but, you know, it's not good enough to completely just annihilate a full group of mobs. But, you know, to keep in mind, my Fury weapons are only 370, and, you know, considering that, I think I did pretty well damage-wise. My throat is going to be a problem this entire time. And I do the key after this, which I recorded as well with no commentary, and we'll get to that one after this. And so I have another, you know, I'm about to be talking for about, you know, an hour or so. And it's been a while since I played Melee DPS and Mythic Plus. It's definitely fun. But yeah, I just kind of felt like turning my brain off a little bit and just, you know, DPSing instead of tanking and having to be focusing the entire time. You know, I wanted to just take it easy and have some fun, which I did, which is nice. And what I will say is that Fury did feel pretty strong and relatively fun as well. Like, just to put it into perspective, apart from this Mythic Plus run here, and then one we do after this, I do as Fury as well. The only thing I've done as Fury before this point was, you know, I did 2 world quests as Fury. That's all. So my Fury experience, because the last time I played Fury, warriors were a little bit different. The whole design of the class was a little bit different. So there's definitely like some relearning here to do, but, you know, it seems to be working out relatively fine. When talking about like warrior DPS, one of the things I'm really excited about Classic is I'll probably make an alt, and I want to play Fury in Classic because I think one-handed Fury was more fun than, than Wrath. They introduced Titan's Grip, which is cool, you know, give you the option, and that was kind of like, I feel like that's the way they should have kept Fury, is as an option between two-handers or one-handers, because in the end of the day, like, you know, what WoW has become today is, you know, we lack choice in what we play and do. I think it's a lot more fun getting to choose my own playstyle. And that's what the game used to be. Those who haven't played for, you know, I've played the game for 14 years. Those who haven't played this game that long, they don't remember, you know, you could either dual wield with a bow or you could two-handed with a gun on, you know, hunters. Like, you had options. Now you just have a ranged weapon, that's all you got. It doesn't matter which one it is, there's no difference. And the same was for warriors, you know, you used to be able to dual wield one-handers, and then, you know, you had the choice of doing two-handers and one-handers. And at the time, from what I recall, they were relatively even in terms of balance, so not that big of a deal in my opinion. And another case of this is, you know, for Death Knights, you used to be able to play two-handed Frost. You had the option between two-handed and double one-handers Frost. Like, you could do either one two-hander or one two-hander or two one-handers. Yeah, that's the way I meant to say it. And then you had to take into account like weapon speed and all sorts of stuff, and this was, I think that's kind of what I miss about WoW. Like, yes, cool, Mythic Plus is a cool system and it's relatively enjoyable, but the thing is, right, I'm always doing the same thing. All I'm looking for are two-handed weapons that I don't even know what they're called. Like, you know, back in the day you would find an item and you would know that when you saw that name, that was the item you wanted. Right? Like, nowadays it's just a random item with a number on it. So the run so far has been relatively chill. The tank is definitely doing a really good job, and you know we're kind of just following his lead, doing what he says, and it's definitely fun. I might just continue playing Fury for a bit, cause like I don't like what tanking has become in WoW, and you know, yes, it's, you know, what you're doing now as a tank is you just AoE, like there's no thought process, you're just spamming your AoE button pretty much, and using mitigation every now and then. Back when, you know, I tanked the most, which was like TPC, Wrath, and Cataclysm. Well, Cataclysm is kind of, and Wrath is kind of when this started, but back in, you know, vanilla TPC, tanks were tab targeting and managing how much threat they have on each mob and making sure they don't lose aggro on individual mobs. Now you just spam AoE and just use your, you know, use your mitigation. And let's not, like, if we talk about mitigation, all the mitigation for each class is the same, pretty much. Like, this button gives you armor, okay? Like, based on your strength or agility, it gives you armor. And that's not something I enjoy personally. You know, that with the whole AoEing and, like, yes, I mean, being a tank now is, like, a high-level tank, really cool. But if you're playing just to have fun, I don't find tanking fun right now. But I mean, I still will do it, and I think it's definitely a enjoyable spec. Especially Pro Warrior, that one feels pretty fun to play, you know, with the ignore pain and stuff like that. But with Fury, like DPSing, I'm a DPS player. It's kind of hard for me to say that, because like back in the day, you know, my friends and my guildies and everyone knew me as the tank. On my server back in like Wrath and TPC and stuff, people knew me as the paladin tank, right? I'm the paladin tank. They knew me as that, and now I'm just a nobody. So it's really weird for me to say now at this point that I'm a DPS player, because I wasn't originally. Like, the first time I mained a DPS spec was in Firelands. Yeah, it's been a long time since I mained a DPS spec. And I think that, or it's that long since I started DPSing, and it's kind of weird to me to think about it. I've actually mained DPS longer than I mained tank at this point, which is really, really, really weird coming to that realization. Because, as I said, like, my friends, everyone knew me, I'm the tank. I used that fear pretty badly. I could have feared these two in the middle, but I trusted the monks to kind of take care of it. But yeah, you know, being the tank gets you a lot of things. It gets you friends, it gets you people that, you know, believe in you, kind of. You know, they want you in their group, right? And in this series, I definitely was thinking about, you know, adding this tank because he's fun to play with, but, you know, he's a risky kind of tank, and I kind of like the way he plays, but I don't end up adding him. But yeah, well, you know, maybe we'll come across someone. Like, WoW is fun. I love this game more than most other things. Most other video games. I love this game more than most other games. But there's a lot of situations where I wish the game was the way it used to be. I think that's why I'm excited to play Classic. I think that's gonna be that, you know, the game is you're gonna feel like you just came home after a really, really long day. That's what, you know, I miss. I know this episode isn't supposed to be sobby. I miss, you know, original or the older version of World of Warcraft. No, not at all. But just, you know, it's going off the top of my head. There's not really much to talk about in the dungeon itself. But let's talk about a funny story. Back in the day, we're talking 12, 13 years ago, I was a paladin playing a paladin when you really shouldn't have been playing a paladin the way I did. I was playing it as a tank. Nobody wanted me anywhere, so I had to heal. But I made a lot of gold, and the way I made my gold was that I boosted twinks. And those who don't know what twinks are, those are, you know, because it's been so long since we actually used proper twinks. Twinks are characters maxed out at a certain bracket made to destroy battlegrounds. So back in, you know, vanilla, you would have 19, 29, 39, and 49 twinks. Usually 49 was a little bit rare because the gear that you were getting there was really, really expensive compared to some of the other ones. But yeah, so what I would do is I made my money boosting level 39 and 19 twinks mainly. So I'll be boosting people, you know, level 10 players through Deadmines, which was considered a level 18 dungeon. And because they had main accounts, they were paying me for it, which I made, you know, a fair bit of money from that. And sometimes I made up to like 30 gold per run just for running Deadmines, which took me like 20 minutes. And that was really fun. By the way, when I say 20 gold, that's the equivalent of probably like 50k today. Like in modern WoW, 20 gold back then is probably, let's be reasonable, that's probably like 10k, roughly. I don't know exactly, but like, you know, I'd be willing to say that without any shadow of a doubt. That would be roughly equivalent of 10 or 20k today. Yeah, so far the run has been really clean. This tank has a good route, and we just follow him along. I remember I was doing this, and I was just kind of like chilling. I wasn't really thinking, I was just playing, and I was enjoying playing. Fury is really, really fun. If you haven't tried Fury and you have a warrior, try it. It's really fun. So we are on the second to last boss now. And I used my cooldowns on the trash because, you know, it doesn't really matter. We're at a good speed. We're gonna 3-chest this most likely anyway. I don't feel like that hit me. Did he cast it? I wasn't paying attention. There is a possibility that he just cast it on me, which, you know, that's fine. Whatever. He cast it on me again. This is where being in a full melee group is really annoying because, you know, it's gonna go on me. I mean, I guess it's okay. That way the other DPSers get the DPS, but kind of wish it hadn't been on me because, you know, it was more fun DPSing, but yeah, it's all good. I was hoping that guy would move out with it, the rogue. He wasn't having any of it. Yeah, this is where, in terms of Fury Warriors, so basically, the way it works is you want to keep your enrage up as much as you can. This is a passive you get from, if I remember correctly, it's been a while, from critting with your Bloodthirst, or it might just be a % chance now. They might have actually removed the crit aspect of it. Or using your Rampage. So, and then if you use your Whirlwind, it makes your next 2 single target attacks, so execute, Bloodthirst, whatever, hit everything in close proximity to what you're hitting. So that's why Fury Warriors have really, really good AoE a lot of the time, is they can, you know, they could execute like, you know, 10 mobs, which is kind of insane, but yeah. Definitely a good spec to play. Really fun. So we're getting to the end of the dungeon here, slowly but surely. It's been a really, really fast run. I was actually really happy that it went this well, because this just, we still need a better percentage, and we're going to go get that soon. I'm ready to use my Drums of Fury. We're just going to go absolutely ham on this, hopefully. So we used our drums, we pop cooldowns, we do a fair bit of damage. As you can see, like I'm cleaving the ad without even touching the ad. Then I swap over to the ad to execute it, to execute the boss as well. So there's definitely some really cool things you can do with Fury, which I enjoy. I enjoy when your class can do these wacky, kind of cool things. But yeah, that's one of the things I miss from the game as well. Like, you used to be able to do some really stupid, funny things, and a lot of the fun aspect has just been removed. And you know, that's that, which is kind of unfortunate. But you know, we'll get there again someday. I have faith in it. We'll get there someday. So we're gonna go up now, and we're gonna talk to the lady up here. If you didn't know, you can talk to Lucille Waycrest to teleport you to the start, and that way we can go kill some more trash to finish the runoff. And the tank is definitely, this tank is good, but I think he mains a healer. From what I did on the research I did, I think he mains a healer. I'm not 100% sure, I might be wrong, but so here we're just trying to blow every cooldown we have, just to kill these things quick, and I'm taking a lot of damage. I don't really care, I'm just like doing as much damage as I can. So here I was like, what's going on? So first when I read that, I was like, does the healer want an invite? Did he leave? Because I recognized the name, but then it was like his friend. I was reading it while I was killing trash. Or killing this. I was like, wait, timer. I should probably pay attention. Probably a good idea. So by the time I'm recording this, by the time this releases, you guys might actually see another. There's a series I'm thinking about doing, just a leveling World of Warcraft series, just to have some other consistency that isn't the this series, because obviously this series might not be for everyone, and this series, these episodes take a while to make, and it's usually a lot of waiting because you don't. The way I look at it is like, yes, I could go ahead and just spam Mythic Plus all day long and try to gear up faster. But the thing is, I have a lot of other things to do. I would rather just do 1, 2, 3 per week maybe, and then just, you know, get the loot at the, you know, weekly reset. Just, you know, get the weekly chests, because those are the most efficient way to gear up. And it's really true. Like, the most efficient way to gear up is the weekly chest. And I hear a lot of people give the advice of, if you want to gear up fast, just spam Mythic Plus and do the world quests, but that's not, like, yes, fast in terms of how many days you're playing, but if you want to take it in terms of gameplay time, the fastest way you gear up is actually by just doing Mythic Plus, doing the weekly chest. Now there is a chance that, you know, I'm recording this after I do 2 runs. There's one more run after this, and I just realized we were 8 seconds away from missing the timer, 7.1 seconds away from missing the timer. But maybe I'll try to do another key after this, because I still have one more day of the reset. It's only Monday when I'm recording this, so I still have Tuesday left. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next dungeon. I'm going to take a breather and get something to drink. So, we are here in the next run, and yes, this is the same tank and the same DPS. Now, you guys saw in the recording, I think, I can't remember, I left the group, right? You guys saw that. I left the group. And then I was like, you know what? I want to do this plus 8 Atal Dasar as well right now. So what I did is I also changed some of the talents. I was testing some of my talents, and I feel like I wasn't really used to a lot of them. But what ended up happening is that the tank and the monk, both the monks, they queued up again to my run. I don't have them added or anything. They just queued up. It was just coincidence. And so obviously I accepted. Like, I saw the guy being good, and I realized I didn't have Bladestorm in my bars, which was kind of funny. And yeah, so I did change my talents around a little bit since the last run. I've changed them back. I didn't really enjoy this setup. This setup was a little bit worse in my opinion anyway. So yeah, this run was definitely really good. And what I realistically should have done there was I should have waited with my Bladestorm and just Bladestormed the fear, because with the Bladestorm, if they haven't changed it, they might have changed it by now. But the last time I played a warrior, Bladestorm would cancel out CCs or anything that would be thrown at you by the, you know, if you were already casting it, you couldn't be stunned or whatever. So there's like, I definitely should have done that. So this group, we end up getting the same situation, kinda. We get a demon hunter and we get a shaman. Which are from memory, I don't remember. It's been a couple hours since I did this now. And from memory, they were also like alt characters that were just gearing up. They were a little bit lower than. So here I was figuring out. Obviously, I got a new ability, and what this ability does is it kind of increases the damage taken on the mob. What I didn't realize is that obviously I have the whole, you know, whirlwind thing, which makes it apply the debuff to every mob. That's something I didn't realize, and I realized it throughout the dungeon. I tested it, I was like, wait, that's how it works. So yeah, we're definitely killing things relatively quickly, and but yeah, it was a kind of a longer run, so this video is going to be extra long for you guys, but yeah, it was, I mean, like, we're in an 8, we got an 8 at Aldasar. This is my key again. I created this as a DPS and I just got people in. And like the monks, they aren't on my server or anything, so they couldn't have added me to keep track of, you know, finding my group. It was actually, when I saw them, I was like, that's kind of funny. So I decided to invite them, and you know, and here's where I realized I could spread the dot over to the other guys as well. But yeah, I did what, you know, I would recommend to people is, realistically, I should have added those guys. Sorry for the stuttering. I don't usually stutter. It's kind of weird. I should have asked them, you guys want to be friends? We could do more dungeons later, but because I'm doing this series, I didn't do that. But that's what you guys should do if you're struggling to find people to do Mythic Plus with. Just get people like these guys. You know, they would probably say okay, because I mean, the tank is helping his buddy gear up, and you've got some pretty decent keys. The tank probably has some keys that the monk can't really do. So yeah, just make friends. That's the best way to gear up, in my opinion. But yeah, so playing around with the talents a bit, you can see the damage is a bit off, and I was kind of like distracted this whole run. There was some stuff IRL that I was kind of paying attention to as well. So I was a little bit distracted, but it doesn't matter, it's my key. So if the run doesn't succeed, it doesn't really matter, but spoiler alert, the run succeeds just fine. We stacked up, and then the Demon Hunter runs into that. I found that kind of funny. Yeah. So he releases while the shaman was almost done rezzing. The shaman was definitely really good. And obviously the monks were relatively decent as well. I would say I held my own, but with the build I'm doing, it definitely felt like I was a bit like distracted, not really doing as well as I could have. Like, I think there's situations where I could have done a lot better than this. And as you can see, I'm kind of just ignoring the quaking because it really doesn't matter. It doesn't do any damage. So he decides to clear this trash, which, you know, okay, cool. So I spread the dot there. I was too late on the interrupt, but the shaman dispels me. This was one of the moments where I realized, you know, the shaman is relatively good, because a lot of people, and especially in what I call this is lower keys, is that they don't, you know, they don't pay attention to my positioning. You'll see, like, he saw where I was and dispelled me because he saw my location, right? So that's definitely something that, you know, made this guy stand out. And sadly, I didn't take the stun talent, Storm Bolt, I think it's called. Um, yeah, I didn't take that this run. And the main reason behind it really was I prefer having 2 charges, like to charge. If I was doing like a 15 or whatever, obviously I would change it out. But I just think that there are situations where having the extra mobility is just more worth it rather than, you know, a single target stun. But a single target stun is actually really good for this big guy because the tank takes a beating from him. But yeah, this is where, you know, the I was paying attention to this for the next time I tank this, because obviously a lot of people want to skip these groups just, you know, because they can skip. But the thing is, percentage in this dungeon is actually kind of hard to come by. It's not hard, but like people want to skip so much that you lose out on a bit of percentage. But the tank actually does something really cool that you can do when you have a pre-made and a group that isn't completely stupid. Um, you guys will see that soon. I didn't get that interrupt, but you see here, the shaman dispels me when he sees I'm out, and then I have my charge to go back in, obviously. And then I used my blade storm for damage. And honestly, I wasn't even paying attention to the fact that the totem was still alive. I wasn't really paying attention to that, but yeah, it works out. So I decided to use my tank or the health shout here. I kind of ran into tank's trajectory there as well. So he definitely took a lot of damage. I'm probably taking a lot of damage here, but I'm kind of like, I don't care. I was very careless. I trusted the shaman. The shaman was relatively good. We almost lost a monk. And, but, you know, it worked out just fine. I have a little bit of self-healing there. So, not bad. Tank went to 6 stacks. That's one of those times when, you know, like, Brewmaster monks are a little bit over the top sometimes. They can handle things a lot of other tanks wouldn't handle. So here we find the stealth guy. He's over here. So we go ahead and kill him. I try not to use too many like resources and cooldowns, because for one mob it's not really worth it. But you kind of want to get rid of this guy. He does a nasty poison debuff, which doesn't really matter yet. There are 3 people in this group that can dispel poison. Both the monks and the shaman can dispel poison, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. So there, you know, I was going to charge in on the witch doctor. I saw the witch doctor got crowd controlled, so I decided, you know, I don't need to do it. And that was really annoying for me, is that I went for my big cooldown with, and there you could see he cast the hex on me, but I was blade storming, so it didn't actually go on me. But yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought. Right, yeah, I was popping my cooldown, and the shield bearer put his stun up, or the you know, damage reduction shield up just when I did it, which was really annoying. But yeah, it works out just fine. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna skip this big path. This is a fact that, you know, I usually pull it because I don't really trust people to pull off what we do in this dungeon, because usually pugs don't really do this right. I was like, wait, we're not gonna go down and get the mobs, which is what I usually do. And here the tank tells us stay with the monk, so I decide to mark him up here in a second, just so that the other people found him, just to make sure. You see the demon hunter almost goes in to take part, but then he like walks back. I was really scared he like got into combat, but he didn't. It worked out just fine. So you go all the way to this edge, and then the healer can res. Definitely a relatively clean run. I was gonna take this totem, but I saw they weren't going to that other side. I think they were scared of like the trash or something, so I was like, I'll go there. It's fine. I can take this one. So tank goes in. Demon Hunter comes here for some reason. He's kind of not making up his mind on what he wants to do. The damage is looking okay, but my totem is kinda falling behind a little bit, so I decided to pop cooldowns in a bit, because you can see here my totem is falling behind, so I just pop cooldowns just to make sure we don't have to slow down too much. And that way it's, you know, it works out. You see I caught up, and obviously I used a big cooldown, but the thing is the boss, like this is the only challenging thing about this boss in the pug, is that a lot of people will do the totems wrong. As you can see, I'm targeting the other totems before I finish mine. I'm looking at the percentages before I finish mine. Then I was going to go over to that totem, but I saw that the monk went there, I think it was the monk. So, you know, I didn't need to go and do anything about it, which is great. So with 3 melee, you do take a bit of damage on this boss. I use my shout just so we you know, have a little bit extra health so nobody dies. Realistically, I should be using another one of my small damage potions. They're from Legion, they're kind of outdated, but I have them and I should be using them. You can see right above my health bar, that's where they are, and I'm not using them. You guys are gonna get to see me be embarrassed in a little bit. It's gonna be pretty funny. So here, I obviously know that we're gonna do the same again to get out because we don't have a rogue shroud. And again, I feel like the demon hunter was gonna pull. I was really scared he would just go help him out. But I've obviously done it this way before, so I kind of know what's happening. But a lot of people might be seeing this strat for the first time. It's not really a strat. It's just a thing that we sometimes do to make the run go a bit, you know, too. Because that pack, especially on teaming, is kind of hard. I think there's an extra witch doctor. I might actually be wrong on that. I don't remember. So yeah, so far so good. I'm really enjoying Fury. I think it's a really fun spec to play, and it's cool to be the damage dealer again. You know, I'm obviously used to that the most, and it's really cool that we were able to get 8 done this early on, like in the series, because like I was expecting maybe a 7 at most, but the shaman dispelled and got us all polymorphed. And then I ended up dying because I had no defensives. But I was the only one that died, so I just run back. But, so, you know, some people might think I only got this done because of the monk tank. I get where you're coming from if you do think that. The thing is, though, Ataldasar is arguably the easiest dungeon on any keystone. Doesn't matter what keystone it is, it's the easiest dungeon. In my opinion, anyway. Statistically, I'm pretty sure it's the easiest one as well. From the statistics I've looked at in the past, I think it's the easiest dungeon. So, like, whether or not I got him or if I tanked it, it wouldn't have mattered. I would have done it. Whether I did it on time or not is a different story, because this group almost doesn't make it on time. And that's because we made a lot of crucial mistakes. We got a couple of wipes in there, which, you know, they have an effect. So one of the things that with the talent build I started using in this run, it's more about sustained AoE damage, which in a +8, there's really no need for. I didn't really research, I just looked it up and wanted to try it out, and from what I could like see, is that it's the sustain AoE cleave build that, the higher end Fury Warriors use, where, in my case I don't really need to use it. So apparently they got feared there, which I didn't really understand, because they had 2 people who could interrupt, but yeah. It's kind of funny. Here I used my health shot again, and I think it saved the both monks. I think they would have both died if I didn't use my cooldown there. So we were definitely causing the healer a little bit of trouble with our, we were obviously 3 melee with Quaking. Isn't the greatest thing, but I just looked at, the tank and monk, both monks were together, and then the shaman and demon hunter were together, so I kind of just like accepted it. I wanted to get like a warlock or something, some kind of ranged hunter, warlock, something. Ideally physical damage, because obviously we have the monk and we have the battle shout from the warrior, so any kind of physical DPS was preferable with the group we're doing. But we ended up, just taking the healer DPS combo, because, getting a decent healer, because I looked at the healer and he was relatively good, and I basically accepted, this demon hunter might be shit, but at least the healer is good. And I didn't think I was in range of this, but I feel like it's bending towards me. See that? I feel like it's kind of heat-seeking. I could have sworn where I was standing would be fine, but I guess not. But I get rezzed, it's all good. But yeah, kind of funny. A little bit of humiliation for me, that's always funny. We gotta kill the Confessor real quick. So I just realized they tried to CC, but apparently the Confessor dispelled it. And, oh wait, I broke the auger back there. I just realized that now, I never noticed that at the time. I should have, been ready to interrupt this, but my interrupt wasn't cooled in, so. So far DPS has been pretty bad. I've actually not done good here on this AoE pull. I should easily be doing a lot more than this. And there I used my fear to interrupt both of the priestesses, and I did get the mantle this time, which is pretty important. Not impressive, it wasn't that impressive, it's just important. The demon hunter is dead. I'm chasing them around, hitting them with all I've got. Realistically, I should easily do 40k DPS on this pull, but I kind of messed up the pull and went out to interrupt one of the mobs to bring it into the group that we were doing, and all sorts of stuff. Here the shaman should just start rezzing, but the tank pulled this guy instead. I don't know if the shaman had mana to res or whatever, but yeah. Here we obviously need to kill this as quick as possible, and the tank thinks he's the one who's gonna get it, because the priestess is targeting the tank, but the thing with the priestess is that it's kind of weird the way it kind of looks at people, targets people, but doesn't actually cast on them. That's kind of like funny. Yeah, there's not many mobs that do that. So we go for the res, obviously, get him back in, do some damage. I had to take a breather there. I've been talking so long. So we're at a good point in the dungeon. The speed has been relatively slow. But again, we're dealing with teaming, fortified, quaking, and that just means the trash is going to take a little bit longer. And obviously we had some, early deaths that definitely didn't help. But yeah, so we're on the boss now. And I'm not sure what they were planning to do with the ad, because nobody really went for it early on. The monk isn't going for it, and it's just me and the demon hunter. So I jump out here to grab the blood. When she casts it, you're supposed to grab the blood. One of the monks didn't see me go for that. I think that was a DPS monk. He didn't see me go for that. So it was kind of like his fault, not really mine. I couldn't have really told him because we weren't on voice comms or anything like that. So that blade storm was about the worst thing I've done in my life. It was very awkward. But yeah, I want to just kill this guy real quick, and then I run out to get the blood. I run all the way to the farthest part without any mobility, which was kind of annoying, but I kind of was already in that direction, so I didn't really want to turn around and then someone else would pick up another blood. I just knew that that blood was so far away that nobody was going to go get it. So this is one of the bosses where having that single target stun would pay off, and here I decided to pick up the blood just to make sure that the ad doesn't get it, then they knock it back. But I think I picked it up at a timing that kind of just works out regardless, because she only needs one tick of my debuff for her to die, and does so. So here I'm thinking I better not die to fire again. But first we gotta clear this pack, of course. This is like a really easy free pack that everyone should do. They don't really do any. We got 2 interrupts on that, nice. One of the things I'm noticing here, for example, is that like I'm whirlwinding as if I'm gonna, cleave, but I'm not in range of the other target to cleave. And here I'm like, hell no, not again. This is where things go a bit wrong, and this is the tank's fault. He pulls the guy up here, like on this little ledge there. He picks him up. I'm looking. I know he's there. Problem is, I think he forgets that it's teaming, and he pulls the next pack, which has 3 of them. So now we have 4 of them that all do an AoE here. And I don't care who you are, we're not stopping that. I couldn't target one in time. I was spam, clicking, trying to target it, but we couldn't get one in time. So, and then somebody, was that me? Was I too close? Did I pull it, or was the healer? I didn't really see it. Didn't see who pulled the big pack in the middle. I don't really want to rewind it. You guys can rewind it and kind of, make some fun of me. I don't know. Maybe it was me. There's a possibility. So they go in for the CC. I'm waiting for the other CC. So the monk said that he's going to take the X, so I'm kind of just drifting between them. And now the tab targeting, for some reason, the big mob is right in front of me, and the tab targets all the small ones before it tabs to the big one. I hate tab targeting sometimes. It used to be good back in the day, but now it's really bad. Because I think the way it works is it's based off your camera angle, not your actual character, which is really stupid. I don't think it should work off your camera angle. I think it should just be based off your character. Because tab nearest enemy is literally I'm standing in the enemy, why isn't it targeting the nearest enemy? That's why I didn't understand, but yeah. So somebody pulled this guy, it wasn't me. I think. Again, I was really scared he was going to pull the big pack. So I obviously used my Berserker's Rage to get rid of the fear, because, warriors can do that. What happened is, I think, where are the Demon Hunter and Monk going on the map? Did they fall down, both of them? Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, they're coming back. You see them on the top right on the map. I actually think they fell down and they're coming back. That's actually kind of funny. I never realized. I was like, did they die? What happened? Maybe they got feared off the edge. Maybe that's what happened. I didn't really see it, so I can't really say. So, we're still on time here. We're definitely doing okay. But time is a bit risky. Again, it's still gonna be fine unless we wipe. Basically, we have 3 minutes and people are taking really long to come back up here. I don't know why. Did they like stop and heal? Is that what they were doing? They were taking a while. I decided I'm gonna use one of my toys and turn into Gammon. That's what I'm gonna do. Because Tauren warriors are the coolest. I don't need to use the I don't need to use my drums this time because the shaman was on point with the heroism, so that's definitely a bonus. I don't understand where the demon hunter is going here, so I just Bladestorm. Doesn't really do much for some reason. I don't feel like I did any damage, but it works out kinda. So we're good for now. There's some noise going outside my window. I can't really tell what it is, but there's some noise there. If you hear it, not my fault. Everyone tries to interrupt the wrecking pain, but the way I look at it is that it's the tank's job. That's the way I look at it. I think the tank is always the one who should do it. I never understood why the demon hunter goes all the way to like that far. He definitely doesn't need to. And yeah. There's definitely like a moment here where I accidentally somehow end up pressing enter. I think I was trying to like reply to someone or something in a message. I don't remember what it was, but I accidentally hit like enter at some point and kind of like take forever to cancel it. It looks kind of stupid. Kind of funny. I think it was here. Yeah, here it was. I tried to spam it to get rid of it as quick as possible. I definitely would have done a lot more damage. One thing I realized there is if I charge through the spider, I don't actually seem to take damage from it. It seems to be tied to the location it explodes. So it's kind of cool that you can charge to get away from it. And yeah, so that's going to be this run. I don't think I'll do the 9 key. We end up getting a 9... I forgot what 9 we did get, but I don't remember. But yeah, because we got a pair of legs, which are actually an upgrade for us. I do equip it. I don't think I do it on video, but I do equip them. They don't give us an item level or anything. So yeah, that's going to be it. I'll see you guys in the next clip. So here's the next clip. I'm about to go hand in a world quest for a 390 piece of item, and I got aggro from this, so we're gonna have to kill this. And yes, I'm still playing Fury at the moment. I don't know if I'll continue playing it, but it's really fun, so kinda want to. Anyway, so let's hand this in and get a 390 piece of random armor item. Please be useful. That's really good. Oh, I'm happy about that. That's really good. Nice. That is what we needed to see, man. That's great. So I saved the item slot, and it's the day before the reset right now. I don't think I'll be able to do my 9. I don't think I'll have time. Which is kind of unfortunate, but yeah. So I'll see you guys in the next clip. I said I would stop doing that, but I'm still doing it, so see you there. So I just finished my 5 time walking dungeons for the week. I just realized it's the last day, and I realized it was going on. I didn't actually know it was. So we should get a 385 item here, and I set my loot spec to Fury, hoping to get like a weapon or something. And we got a ring that we do not need, but I'll put this in the video anyway, because, worth it. I did actually get 41 on my necklace while I was going for that, so that's definitely a, definitely progress. But yeah, see you guys in the next clip. Okay, good morning guys. It's time for the weekly chest opening on the warrior. Yeah, I just sounded really squeaky, but I gotta decide, do I want to keep going for Prot, or do I want to go for Fury? I think for now, I'm gonna keep it on Fury, cause yeah, yeah, I kind of wanna, but at the same time, getting a shield would be really nice. And here it comes. Here's the shield. Ready, guys? Here it goes. Shield or a 400 cloak, which is actually a big, big upgrade. That's huge. Now we're at 388 item level. That was actually like one of the best things we could have got, honestly. Um, I mean, obviously a shield or some sort of good trinket would have been nice, but what key did we get? Let's see. We got a Raging Necrotic Waycrest Manor. Ew, that's kind of annoying. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, throw a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.